I don't know where someone named Eric suggested to Eric, who's my son and I'm lost Eric, that this thing that came with the master cylinder kit actually might be the solution we're after. All we need is a 9/16 coupling from the top here to match this one. And of course we got to bend this guy completely opposite to what it is now. So if we can bend it without creating a kink or breaking it, we have solved the master cylinder leak problem, I hope.
You hope. Let me see. So thanks to Eric C. I just saw that comment this morning. Thank you, Eric. I had these pipes with the brake kit that you mentioned. I had no idea what to do with this. I just forgot all about it. It's been sitting in the garage for years. And yeah, lo and behold. I don't know this. Well, you said this is a 9/16, so I believe you. So this is a 9/16 to 3/8, which is exactly what we need, as Pop said. So if we can do this, then this goes, sorry, my hand's in the way there, right there. So we get a 9/16 to 9/16 coupler, and then we've got to bend it so it turns around and ends up under there. That's a really tight thing, so I don't know if we're going to be successful with that or not. This is the stainless kit, so this stuff is murder to bend, but we'll try it. And we'll give that a shot and see if we can get that to fit up in there. If that fits, that's perfect. You know, one coupler. No couplers would be better, but,
No coupler, yeah.
But one coupler I can handle. This is a big fitting, so high likelihood of success for the coupler to work. So we'll try, see if we can find some way to get that up in there. And then beyond that, we're going to be back on electronics today. I'd like to get all this wired up, finished, and actually powered up today and see if the instrument cluster works and all that stuff. If we can get that far, would be nice. Yeah? I'd like to see the gauges working.
Yes, that would be nice.
All right, we'll shoot for that. Well, let's take a look at that tube first, see if we can bend it. All right, so we were trying to bend this thing around, and to make this work for my case, this fitting here has to be above this fitting by about 1 inch. And I don't think we'll be able to bend that into that, but I was telling Pops, well, we just cut these off and put them on our own thing. Then I measured this, so this is 1/4 inch hose, which I don't have. And then that made me think, well, if that's 1/4 inch hose, then this is probably the wrong fitting. And it is. So this is a 1/4 inch fitting. The Willwood takes 3/8, so this won't fit. So we're back where we started again, where now we can get this one to work, but we can't get this one to work. So unfortunately, this isn't going to work. But like I said, I have a hose on order that theoretically solves this problem, so we'll just leave it and come back to that. Yeah.
Hosed again.
Hosed again. Thanks, Eric. It was close. I really was hoping that was going to work. Yep, but almost. And we don't have enough room under here to put an adapter to go from 1/4 inch to 3/16, 3/8 rather. There's not enough room, so that won't work either. So, all right, back to the instrument cluster stuff. Okay, doing some simple testing here. So, got the battery charger hooked up. So the way this system we have in the back here, there's a fuse block in the back there. You can see the left-hand side is connected to the battery and the fuse relay center for the engine. So that side we've been testing recently by starting the engine and everything, so we're pretty confident that side's okay. The other side of the fuse is connected to the painless harness, which we've done very little testing on, so we're still a little nervous about that. So I've got the battery charger hooked up to the right side, the painless harness, set on 2 amps, just to make sure it's happy so far. And you can see the courtesy lights are on, so it's working. My measured resistance to ground was 2 ohms, which is basically the light bulbs, so that's good. Took the light bulbs out and it was infinite. So there's, on the ignition circuit there's basically nothing shorted out, so that's good. I had a little jumper made to connect the ignition circuit over, like in place of the key, so I've got to find that, and then we can jumper that and it'll emulate having the key on. And then this little guy we made here, we will connect the ignition line that goes to the computer to the fuse block. So again, when you turn that on, it's emulating turning on the ignition. And then finally, we made this jumper here to go in place of that big fuse up there. That's a 175 amp fuse, I think, which if something shorts out here isn't going to do us a lot of good. So we'll use this guy instead. We'll put like a 10 amp fuse in there. Just again, if anything's wrong over here, we'll blow the fuse instead of melting wires. That all make sense?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Okay, there's my little jumper. I'm going to testing now. We have voltage. It's only 4 volts because it's on the charger in a low setting. This little guy lit up, which is interesting. He's only got 4 volts and he's trying to work, which is funny. So everything seems to be working here. So we'll go ahead and hook up the fuse up there and get it connected over to the battery and see what happens. Okay, I got it connected to the battery now. And those lights are definitely brighter, so that's good. So just like we talked about, shoot, I kicked the bolts everywhere. There's the fuse block there, so it's got a 10 amp fuse in it. So again, if anything goes wrong, we'll blow the fuse. I just kicked that box, sent bolts everywhere. We'll deal with it later. All right, so now put my jumper back in there. Okay, so that guy's doing his thing. And we got 12 volts here now, which makes sense. So now we connect the ignition for the computer to the fuse block there, and then that should light up. And then hopefully we can get this guy to recognize the computer. All right, so this guy right here is connected to one of the switched power ports on the fuse block. Not very securely, but that's okay. This is the ignition switch going to the computer. And again, we got a fuse in there just in case anything funky happens. So now, if I apply power here, so this is between yellow and orange on this guy. The computer should turn on, which it did. And then now, oh, it's doing something. It changed. All right, let's see, I need the manual for this thing. I have the wrong one here. Let me go get that. All right, so it says here, the JFC means it was trying to communicate with the bus and couldn't. It says to see sensor and channel status, press and hold the switch. If bus is shown, the module cannot communicate. So press and hold. What did it say?
Free.
ECT. I don't know what any of that means. The first will show the bus type. J. That's in C. I'll C for can. Okay, that's possible. The next will indicate extended data. Okay. AAT says ambient air temp. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
IAT says intake temperature. EOP, oil pressure. Yes. C1. This is can, I guess. I don't know what that is. Fuel level. Well, that works, but okay. All right, so that's working. So it's talking to the computer.
But you'll never be able to put.
All right, so fingers crossed, nothing blows up here. Should see the gauges light up. Or not. Okay. We got something unconnected here we got to figure out. Okay, I had forgotten to hook up the constant power to the main block. They're only the ignition power, so you can see the little LEDs flashing there now. So hopefully, I don't have it. It's the best I can do, don't mock me. All right, let's try this again. Power, engage.
Cool.
Look at that. It says we're out of gas. Which is probably true.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, hey. We got voltage.
Another first.
That works. 1202, what time is it? Probably not 1202. All right, check engine light is on, that's correct. All right, we're good.
Yes, we are.
Now there's a bunch of setup that I have to do here to get this thing to be properly connected to this guy. It's trying to get a bunch of things from different connectors over there, so we'll do that later, but it's alive. All right, so we are getting ready to do the steering column. We're not going to do it today, but just getting prepped. So getting this bracket all cleaned up. This was a funny story. I don't remember who it was because it was years ago. But when I was cleaning out the garage and I threw out my old steering column, this was still attached to it. And somebody posted in the comments, they're like, hey, don't throw that away. You need that. And luckily I caught it before it got thrown away. It's been sitting somewhere for the last 7 years or whatever. We just dug it out. And we notice that there's these little silver parts on here. I think this stuff is for breakaway, like for the collapsible steering column and stuff. Like there's copper bolts and things in going there. It's all I can think of is all designed for collapsing steering column, whatever. But it looked kind of cool. They were silver, so Pops and I were talking about it. You know, just mask those off so you keep that factory look. And you were saying what?
You know, I said my dad and my mom always taught the stories using analogies. And he said one of them was that I'll never forget is, if you're out in the woods by yourself, should you fart? And then we have to answer these questions. No, you don't fart because you have integrity, honesty, and what you do in the woods is what you do at home. You don't do anything different. Just like this. Why would you hide that stuff? Well, because you save time. Nobody's ever going to see that. But Eric says no, and he always does. Drives me nuts too. Let's do it right. I don't care if somebody sees it, but it makes me, the integrity of the work is important. It is.
Exactly. So we could have blasted that whole thing with paint and all this would have just had overspray and just whatever. But to me, I know that that used to be silver there. Now it's not silver anymore, and that would have bugged me, even though I can't see it. And yeah, it took 10 minutes.
And we have taken my dad's proverb and extended it. I have a stamp collection, a lot of stamps, and Eric and I have a Auspuffen story. Every time I see a stamp about Auspuffen, which reminds me of my dad's story, I post it. So he has a real collection over the years about Auspuffen stuff.
And what does Auspuffen mean?
Auspuffen is a fart
Exactly.
in German. Släppa for Swedish.
So anytime, Auspuffen. Anyway, we're gonna move on to this power steering hose and see if we can fix this connector. And then we're gonna pressure test it with the AM pressure tester thingy we have.
Oh, okay.
And see if we can get this to work. If so, then we don't need to get a new hose. And then we're going to call it a day, I think, because it's been a long week. But let's see if we can fix this. So this, we know this sleeving here has to go all the way up to the edge of this, which it wasn't, as you can see. And then hopefully that will give it enough bite to lock down. So we're going to work on that right now. All right, so we've got this pressurized. I don't see any leaks. This will be 110 psi or whatever is coming out of the compressor. I don't know what the pressure size of power steering is. I assume it's more than that. So it's still possible that it might leak under pressure, but that's certainly a good sign. I torqued the crap out of that fitting this time, and last time I did it on the car, so I probably couldn't get as much torque on it as I did off the car. So hopefully that worked. There we go. Doesn't that look nice? That thing looks brand new. We used the SCM trim black paint on that. Looks really nice. Very happy. Happy?
Yeah, it looks perfect. So that's what I'm talking about, taking that extra 10, 15 minutes to do it right. Nobody will ever see it except you.
Yep. It's pretty. All right.
I may ask the California referee when you take the car in for the final checkup to take a look.
He may say, well,
Water Patrol could hide stuff there.
since you did such a good job on that, we'll give you the smog certificate. All right, so we got this guy back on. We cannot start the engine right now because of all the rewiring that we did. So we're gonna call it a day right there. Next time, we're gonna put the steering column in, and then we'll be able to put a key in. Vroom, vroom.
Yes.
So that all went really well today, actually.
So you think you can get the wiring done before Saturday when your sister's oldest kid comes to visit? He would love to see all this stuff. Especially the vroom vroom part.
Maybe, if
Yeah,
I work on it after work.
yeah. I'll come over if you need me.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
All right.
The column, I'm hoping, goes in pretty easily. Some wood to knock on. It shouldn't be that hard to put in, I wouldn't think.
What, the steering column?
Yeah,
I see why.
and you just connect the wires to the switch and you're done. So
Yep.
we got all the parts we need, I think. Got the rag joint, we got the intermediate shaft, we got the mounting bracket for the firewall, got the gasket for the firewall, got the plate that goes there. Yeah, that should be it. Okay, I think we're gonna call it there.
Yes, good day.
Excellent week.
Yes.
We got a lot done.
We had the instrument panel fire up and light up. Yes.
That was cool.
One by one. We
Yeah.
killed him.
That was cool.
Yes, it is. There it is.
I don't know if I showed this. Just mocked it up there just to see what it looks like. Very cool. Oh, last thing. I'm working with Darwin, my buddy, trying to figure out the wiper switch on this, and I'm in kind of a conundrum, I think, because the car is wired for a 77 switch, which I believe is the 176. But this panel here has got the narrow bezel opening on it. So the 176, I think, wants a bigger opening. I think it'll work, but I don't think I'll be able to see the washer wiper logo thing that goes there. If anybody has any thoughts on that, let me know. But I'm going to probably put a 176 switch in there, and I'll just mask it off with some plastic or something so you can't see the washer wiper if it ends up half hidden here, which I think it will. Because I don't think they make a 77 version of this thing anywhere. But anyway, doesn't it look cool? Yeah? We left all the protective plastic on there, of course, so it looks a little worse than it will in real life. Anywho, that is going to do it. Have yourself a good week, Pops. We'll hopefully pick this up midweek, get the steering column in there.
Yeah.
Sound like fun?
I was going to use that for your little toolbox there with all the small parts. But
For what?
The living hinge is broken here. I just thought I could
Oh, yeah,
pull it
okay.
off, but no.
Good idea. All right.
I'll have to cut that. You care?
All right, can I go now?
Yes.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
See ya.
Bye.